third or fourth in state. They lost a 2-game goal to one of our district mates in Osseo Maple Grove Black last night. So Trojans coming off an overtime loss last night to Lakeville South. Apologies, our camera ran out of juice. We are all charged up and ready and expect to get this full game in today. I've got Alice back with me. Alice, say hi.
Hi.
It's been a while. You've been busy with your own hockey, probably some guinea pig activity, and I don't know, we haven't had a Taylor Swift update in a while. What's going on there?
I don't know.
Is she married yet?
No.
Is she still dating Travis Kelce?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How are the guinea pigs?
Good.
Guinea pigs are good?
Yeah.
Okay. And then hockey-wise, what do you got coming up?
I have a game on Tuesday. Game on Tuesday against. I forgot who's against. And then the championships on Thursday.
Is your game on Tuesday a district game? Are you starting playoffs yet, or is it still like regular season?
I am pretty sure it's districts, because if the championship's on Thursday, if I play on Tuesday,
Okay.
then I will have a local championship.
We'll see how the audio is for this game. It feels like a really loud arena, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like it's echoey, a lot of metal and concrete.
Mm-hmm.
So. And it's frankly a little bit chilly.
It's not chilly. It's not cold.
I'm a little chilly.
Yeah. Because maybe put on a jacket when it's time to put outside.
Yeah, they'll probably announce them first.
All right, welcome to Cottage Grove High School 2025 Minnesota Hockey Bantam East Region Tournament featuring Wayzata versus Roseville.
Awesome. Oh, is it?
So Wayzata's starting lineup: number 11.
Are you cold or are you good?
Carson
I'm good.
Number 25, Jack Keating.
It's Kaden.
What's that?
It's Kaden.
Yeah.
Number 10, Andrew Wilson. Number 5, Eric McJuggers. And goalie, number 1, Charlie Ellison.
Saw Ari shake
Ari?
his head.
Yeah. They got his name wrong.
And the starting lineup for the Roseville Raiders. Number 17, Lincoln Corbin. Number 26, Judd Purdue. Number 89, Oliver Coley. Number 15, Caden Zito. Number 25, Paul DeWard. Let's play hockey.
All right, what do you think? Your brother was on fire last night.
Yeah, I got 2 goals.
Got a couple of good goals. He was flying all over the place.
I left before I went to go to my gymnastics, so.
Okay. All right, the starting lineups, I assume, is where we're going. Ellickson in net. He'll be in front, or he'll be helped out on the blue line by Wilson and Jeffers. Kanan will take this opening draw, flanked by Homstall and Brown. Kanan wins that draw back to Jeffers. Jeffers flips that deep into the near corner. Forecheck coming. Exited temporarily by the Raiders. Little D-to-D pass. Can't find its way in, just out of reach of Jeffers. And Roseville carries it into zone for the first time. And first shot, early goal as the Raiders come across, throw one on net, and that finds the back of the net. Tough start at the 24-second mark as the Raiders skate across the blue line and rip one in. So time to regroup and get one back. Not exactly how they drew it up. Hi, Alice?
Yeah.
All right, another draw win. Hasselfeld plays it up. Clavin works his way into zone. Finds a little room out front, and had that centered, and I don't know, it got deflected back in. A little pressure by LaRose slows that down, is now Hasselfeld on it. D to Prentice. Back to Hasselfeld. Finds a little room on the far side, but that hops the stick of Clavin. Clavin bodies it in, and a little help from Meade. Works it in as well. Gets back to Meade. High slot and across as the Raiders now skate free with it. Temporary numbers and a blocker save for Ellickson. Good to just get that save on the belt here after an early goal for the Raiders. Hasselfeld to Kurth, and that scoots over his stick. And the Raiders hold. Find a little room out front, and now Hasselfeld working on the near side. Has some help from Meade. LaRose on it, and that turns, and that fires. That goes wide to the right. Another puck on and held by Ellickson.
I can see that the boys aren't really fully awake yet.
Yeah, they got to wake up quick.
Always the second period they wake up. So.
As we've rotated around quickly here, Kurth stays in, but Kanan and Homstall join the forward, and our defenders are back in Jeffers and Wilson after a short break. Just 2 minutes into this first period, and the Raiders scored just 24 seconds in, if you're jumping in late. 1-0 Raiders. Wilson holds up the forward on the inside. Kanan helps. Back to Wilson. Looks for Kurth. That gets by him, and it'll rattle around the back of the boards there. Now Homstall works his way out. Kanan pressures. Kanan creates a little bit of a turnover. Tries to scoot his way through. The Raiders close down on it and now have numbers going back the other way, although temporarily, in a blocker saved by Ellickson up high. And here comes Kanan. Kanan tries to scoot one through the feet, and the skates got in the way, as now Brown fires in to bring a little life into this forward realm, and that is ended up icing. 12:01, and the Raiders holding this early 1-goal lead. Well, they've settled in a little bit.
Yeah.
Up front, Prentice fires. That gets blocked on the way in by a Raider. LaRose in the back, working along with Meade. Hasselfeld can't quite hold the edge there, and the Raiders skate free with it. Mead, with a bunch of pressure, holds that up, and a rebounded puck.
Startling when
What's that?
It was little. I just kind of like jumped when it hit the board.
Oh, yeah, it was kind of loud. So offsides on the Raiders. That'll come out. Mead will be on the draw, flanked by Brown and LaRose. Hasselfeld and Prentice back on D as the Raiders win that draw and dump it back behind the net. Ellickson plays it. Looking for a way out here as Brown gets hung up in the skates of a Raider as Hasselfeld brings it in. A Raider comes all the way across. Had a little room on the near side of the crease. That gets played out as LaRose pressures. Deflected puck out front, and that ends up off the side of the net. Scoring chance there as now Brown fires across to Hasselfeld, looking for LaRose as Mead picks it up and carries it into zone. He gets bodied and drugged down back behind, but hops back up on his feet. And turn a little wraparound there as LaRose had a chance at it. Another shot goes wide. Good save for the Raider goalie, and the Raiders are back the other direction. Jeffers will play it. Looking for Clavin. Clavin hung up. Ends up in the skates of the ref, and they play that back as Mead chips that forward. The Raiders play it. That scoots over Wilson's stick as the Raiders draw that in, and they end up on and in. Ellickson had that initial save. It looked like he closed it in the 5-hole and then maybe just squeaked free and pumped in. And at the 11:38 mark here, the Roseville Raiders strike again and take an early 2-0 lead.
Went on the left skate and it stopped it. That's a good dot going this way.
Well, if there wasn't a need to wake up early, now they really got to wake up and at least close this. I feel like we got to get one back here in the second, and then we can play this thing out. What do you think of that?
Yeah,
If we get one here, I think we're all right. I'm not sure what happened there. Do you?
Kelvin fell down, a guy went on top of him, so. And then
Yeah,
it was
but I don't know.
offside.
Is that either a penalty or whatever? Either way, Roseville wins that draw. It is turned over as Kanan stick checks and lifts that away, and now Roseville carries it back in and flips one in, and a block puck there for Wilson. Centering pass up. Wayzata almost own goal that one in, as now Kanan flies up the left side. Skates one free, and he comes in, and he flips one in. Rebound given, second chance, just misses. And another one just misses for Clavin. We basically teased both sides of the pipe there and couldn't find the back of the net. Kanan drove one to the net. Rebound given up. Homstall misses just to the left. And a wraparound chance by Clavin misses just to the right as the Trojans had a scoring chance there, stymied by the Raiders. Now the Raiders have numbers coming back, but a hard back check closed in by the Trojan defense. Homstall now on the near side. Homstall has Mead up the middle and Kurth up the right side. Puck fired on and saved by Roseville from Mead, who carried that into zone. 9:05 left and a 2-goal lead for the Raiders.
That was, I think when Jack did that, they were so close to scoring like those 2 times in just those 10 seconds.
9 minutes left in the first. Roseville chips one out. Pass across. Flipped up front. And Roseville now skates out with it. Quick skater on the edge there. Had a little bit of a seam. Closed on by Homstall. LaRose has room, willing to skate it in. Comes all the way across the blue line. Leaves it back for Kurth. up front for Meade, and Roseville closes and turns that around. That ends up through the Trojan forwards as Wilson overskates that one, and Raiders have it, but a heavy back check there closes on that as Wilson recovered, and Brown helped out. LaRose now on it. Wilson skates, puts it on the tape of Brown. Brown rips one in, and a save pops out of the glove and then snags it out of midair as another shot on goal for Brown and the Trojans. 8:04 left in the first, and the Raiders up 2. Jeffers does a nice job of holding the edge and slowed down what looked like a little breakaway odd man opportunity. And now Wilson closes on another opportunity there. And the puck bounces off the back of the net. Raider closes on it. Wilson looking for help up the edge. Has room across the edge, looking for Brown. Brown just out of the reach of his skates. Centering pass up front. Now Brown picks it up on the far side as that comes across. Brown, turns and centers and played out nicely by Roseville as he had Homstall skating free with it. Chips it back in, and Roseville turns it around. Held on the line, but Brown replaces his defender back, and Roseville skates free with it, and it's saved by Ellickson. 7:03 left, and another save for Ellickson. Puck deflected wide, so we've got Meade, LaRose, and Clavin in. Puck blocked by Prentice, who has Hasselfelt with him back on the blue line. Puck loose and chipped around between LaRose and Clavin, and Meade pops out with it. Puck loose, and he chops that back into the corner. We'll chase into the corner, shut off by LaRose. And Clavin gets a piece of it, but the Raiders skate out with it and have a 3-on-2 as they enter the zone. Works their way deep. Nicely played off by Hasselfelt. Does find its way into the edge, and now Hasselfelt skates free with it. Finds Meade. Meade works his way in, and a deflected puck off the edge, off the pad of a Raider slows things down. Offsides as Kurth didn't quite get back to that blue line as Jeffers was holding up just outside the zone. Kurth remains. Homstall and Kanan in. Wilson and Jeffers remain on D. Trojans have that. Hops Jeffers' stick, and he is pressured by the forechecker. Homstall now joins into the corner. Wilson tries to poke it free and does. Has a little room up the far side. Skating through the zone. Nice pass up to Kanan. Kanan across the blue line. Tries to skate it free. Loses the edge, or just a bit of a corner there as I think Homstall had a little bit of an edge. Skated free and now played out front again and can't quite get the stick down on a rebound given up. A couple of rebound opportunities given up by this goalie. And the Trojans can't, just not in the right place at the right time or have the stick down to get those. We're in the first, and they feel gassed already, don't they?
Uh-huh.
You see little spurts of action. Puck out front and a save for Ellickson as we kind of left somebody in the high slot all alone. Kurth chips one forward, gets a change, and Roseville catches us in a change as the Trojans try to regroup. They do just in time as that gets off to the edge, but the Raiders hold possession. Prentice on it, puck all the way across, fires in and saved by Ellickson. 4:38
and Carlson always had a little something like passing thing.
What's that?
Jack and Carlson like always have a little like kind of like
Little two-man game? Yeah, that'd be a good one. We can find a score out of that somehow. All right, Homstall has LaRose. LaRose trying to chip one through. A couple of players there. Has Brown to Mead. Mead works his way through it, finds its way into zone. Brown holds the edge, chips it across to LaRose. LaRose in, and he fires one. Rebound given up to the far side as Brown is there for it. Brown chips it in for LaRose. LaRose turns and fires on the edge. Has Mead, and nothing there. That goes wide. Chipped free, and Hasselfeld in a race for it.
nice save by that
Up
Raider
front.
player.
That gets waved off to LaRose. LaRose chases that in. Nope, I thought he waved it off on the near side there, but LaRose didn't get a piece of that one, so that icing will come back to a defensive zone draw for the Trojans.
The Raider guy went fine, but
What's
he
that?
saved himself right by. He was about to knock into the boards.
Kanan to Prentice. Ooh, bad carom off the boards. As Homstall expected something different there. Clavin on the edge there. He does finally work his way through it as a stick lift keeps him away from it. Clavin does then dangle his way back into the corner. It gets a little deep, but he still controls back behind the net. Kanan now involved, but the Raiders skate free with it, at least into neutral ice. Clavin recovers and plays it back, but the Raiders then bring that back into zone and poke that free to Kanan. They scoot that out to neutral ice, and a D-to-D pass for the Raiders as a re-entry right in front of us here. Hard bounce off the back. The Raiders will look for at least a partial change as that gets up to Kanan. And the breakout finally finds its way out, and Homstall has a little room to skate that in. Comes around the far side, rips one, and that's high and wide to the right. Closed off temporarily by Kurth, and then chipped back in by Prentice. Homstall turns and fires one back out to Prentice, and that scoots by Prentice in a 2-on-1 situation here, as that pinch may have hurt, and the puck is saved and not covered, and played out by the Trojan defense.
Nice save by Eckerson.
That was a great save.
I can't see.
Looking for LaRose on the near side, turned back in by the Raiders as they're approaching a healthy lead in shots. The Trojans got to find a way to get out of their zone and put a little more pressure on the Raider goalie. I kind of said I'd like to see this into a one-goal game as we enter the first intermission, and we're still down 2 with 1:56 left here in the first.
Seems like a really long
Prentice
first period.
to LaRose. Seemed like a long one.
Yeah. How many minutes is it? 15?
Yeah, they're 15. Played out front. Mead pressuring on the edge. Gets buried up against the board. Played up off the blocker for Ellickson. I think the net may have popped off. So we'll let a fresh restart here, unfortunately, in our own zone. 1:27 left. The Trojans got to find a way out of here and pick up a goal. Would make me feel a little better coming into the second. Brown, Homstall, and Kanan back in. Kanan wins it. Has Wilson to Homstall. Homstall carries, plows it through the edge. Brown there to pick it up. Roseville wins to it, but Brown holds that edge out front to Jeffers. That is blocked by Roseville, and they skate out with it. 1:11 left here in the first. Jeffers skips it forward, looking for Homstall. Roseville slows traffic down. 1 minute remains. Jeffers to Brown and scoots that forward. Kanan, just couldn't quite lift that stick enough to drag it into the zone with him. 41 seconds here as Roseville regains control, finds a streaking forward. Jeffers to Brown, and that ends up popping into the bench of the Trojans. 31 seconds left here in the first, and the Trojans will freshen up the lineup. LaRose and Clavin in. Meade will be their center. Hasselfeld and Prentice back, and a deflected puck as Ellickson tries to play it off. Fanned a little bit on it, and he covered it. 26 seconds left, and we'll draw in our own end. Roseville controls. Little D-to-D pass out front. Creates a little bit of space, and a deflected puck ends up blocked by Prentice, but the zone held by Roseville. Plinkoed puck and 10 seconds remain.
Two, one.
Has it out to Clavin, and that is the end of one in a fairly dominant first for Roseville as they found 2 goals and an 8-shot lead on goal as Ellickson has been under pressure a lot. So just a 1-minute break here. We'll take the longer 10-plus minute break between the second and thirds with a Zamboni freshen up. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Roll down from Bemidji today or yesterday? You were here last night, right?
I got here
Thursday. Okay.
Drove down in that wind.
Oh. Is that your back at least? Was it?
Yeah.
Or side wind?
Side,
yeah.
kind of. I worry about semis.
Yes. Yeah, that's a little unnerving.
Oh yeah, I had to think of this. Doing a good job here, both of you.
All right, the Trojans come out with Meade, Clavin, Meade, LaRose, and Brown. Jeffers and Wilson back. Raiders control temporarily. Brown tries to find his way through. LaRose gets hung up and chops it back in deep. They play that out. Brown tries to bat that down with his hand, and Jeffers does, but just after it exited the zone, and Trojans still had players in. So offsides on the Trojans, and Meade wins that one, and Jeffers throws it deep. Rose holds up on the far side, finally works its way through. Brown gets a little bit of help as well, but the Raiders kind of skate free with it. Jeffers holds up as the Raiders do enter the zone. The pass back to the Raiders finds the top of the bar, and another near score for the Raiders. Hard ice pass out, finds a defenseman at the red line, and the Raiders chop that back in. Jeffers turns one over, or creates a turnover, on the edge. Scoots it out, but the Raider defenseman holds and dumps it back in. Now Wilson has it. LaRose backhands one into zone, and see if the forecheck pressure can do anything here for the Trojans, and it doesn't. It turns back to the Raiders, and the Raiders pop one in. Ellickson plays it, holds out front, recovers back to his crease. Wilson draws a little contact, gets drugged down back there after delivering a hit, receives one back, and Brown looks to chop one up the edge and does temporarily. Tries to find a little room on the near side, but it pops around Brown and into zone for the Raiders. LaRose to Meade. Meade's going to get a rest. New center comes in as we're running, I think, just the two centers in Kanan and Meade. And a bouncing puck ends up front. And another rebound pops free and pops in the back of the net. And Roseville extends the lead to 3. Little goalie change here as they're going to give Buell a little time here, and Ellickson sits down. Buell snags one for an early save. Still 12:38 here. They whistled that one. I don't exactly know what happened. But we'll face off again. Kanan wins. Roseville takes control, however, and now rolls it around their D. That one flips in. Rebound given up as Buell bumps one away. Kanan tries to get one out. Roseville turns over deep. Nice little inside pass. Finds its way home, but broken up by Homstall. And Buell with a save. Scoots one away. That holds at the blue line. Deflected puck out front. Boys universally looked gassed out here. Sometimes it looks like there's just not skating effort. This one really feels like a lot of tiredness. So I don't know where they're going to muster the energy to come back from a 3-goal deficit, but we got fresh skaters to give it a go as LaRose, Clavin, and Meade come in at forward. Puck hung up. Meade there to battle. Jeffers into the corner. Meade chips that forward to Wilson. Wilson has room. Wilson to Meade. Turnover to Roseville, and now a little bit of space on the edge as a poke check there by Jeffers, and Meade takes over into neutral ice. Puck played off. Deflected puck ends up in Trojan territory, or in the Trojan bench area, excuse me. And Roseville will get a change. 3-0 Raiders, just 11, or just 3 minutes and 55 seconds off the clock here in the second. Zone entered and zone exited pretty quickly there. Regrouped here by Wilson, and that's going to get a little deeper. See if the forecheck can stop any of the exit here by the Raiders. Meade cuts that off. He gets joined by Jeffers, and Meade back on it. And now Roseville exits, and a good poke again by Jeffers. That does just roll across the blue line and offsides on the Trojans. Kane and Brown and Homstall in, Hasselfeld and Prentice. That gets won by Kanan. Karam nicely off Homstall on the edge. Can't quite chip that around his defender as the Trojans are forced to regroup here. Brown again looking to find his way in. Whiffs on that a couple times. Has another chance and then does pop that back behind the goal as Kanan chases it. Brown looking for a pass out front, but Roseville skates free with it. Pass all the way across.
Penalty by someone, I don't know who, but
A high stick. Oof. So to make it worse, now one of our two centers is going to go into the box here.
or like Jack.
So man down penalty kill here for the Trojans. A couple of fresh forwards and Mead and LaRose come in. Hasselfeld and Prentice will remain. And a power play for the Raiders, considering the even strength pressure. Not a good situation for the Trojans. Raiders on tight wing there, shot on and save for Buell. Continue to work it around the edge. Minute and 30 left of this 2-minute. Puck ends up beautifully blocked by Buell. Unbelievable save there as that popped up. Somehow got his stick or blocker up and saved that one. Prentice bodies into the corner. Chipped around by Roseville. They work it free, D to D out front.
The least we can do is just play out this penalty thing.
It'd be a big penalty kill. Maybe that'll build a little confidence, but certainly not going to rest any weary legs. 8:50 remains here in the quarter. 53 seconds left in the power play. That felt like a long power play minute because we still got 45 of it left. And a sliding puck finds the left edge, and the Raiders extend to a 4-goal lead and back to even strength. 8:39 left, so 6:21 left, and the Trojans are kind of letting this one slip away.
We have 7 shots and they have 22. Hopefully that penalty got them more hyped up.
That flips up high. Puck ends up off the side of the net as the net comes off the stanchion, and we'll take another near draw. Kanan out front, puck in on the edge. Broken up by Kanan again, and now has a little room to skate it free. Through neutral ice, across the red line, and enters the zone on his own. Finds his way to the backside and has Kurth up front. Wilson looks to cock the trigger, couldn't quite pull it, almost turned that over, and eventually back to Roseville as a 2-on-1 situation here. Fanned on that one as Roseville's on it. And another.
Wilson did a little push and then he went.
Sending them both off.
Okay.
All right, so 2 penalties served, but 1 from each side, so we'll remain even strength here. As Clavin joins a Raider in the penalty box here. 7:56 left, and Buell with a save. Deflection up front and snags another one. Jeffers looking for Homstall. Far side. Jeffers finds Kurth. Kurth carries it in, and a snag in glove save there as Kurth gets across the blue line and fires one in, and a glove save for the Raiders. Just about halfway through this one, and it feels like a long half. 7:43 remains in the second as the Raiders are up 4.
What's it now? What? I'm confused. What's happening?
Raiders control that draw. Forecheck pressure coming up the edge. Kanan tries to dangle his way through. Jeffers pulls it out. Ooh, turned over deep as Roseville has it now in zone as their pressure prevails. Homstall turns and fires just on sides as Roseville chips it forward. Looking to Kanan. Kanan in deep. Has a centering opportunity and just off the edge of his stick. Turn and backhands in and covered by Roseville as Kurth puts another one on goal. 7:07 left, 4-0 Roseville. He's not seen a lot of pressure, but that Roseville goalie stopped everything we've thrown at him. So.
Mm-hmm.
Meade hits the turf off that faceoff, and Roseville skates free with it. 3-on-2 numbers. The back check by LaRose and some body pressure there up front as Hasselfeld went down hard, and Roseville will go in the box, and we'll have the first power play opportunity of the day for the Trojans.
Looks like it's I think I can't.
I made that bold claim about, finding a goal at the end of the first, which we didn't. If we can get a power play goal here and then find one more.
Oh, it looks like they're pulling. Yeah. Be a little drama. Look like they put over him, then the guy went out, but then over staying out, so he stayed out.
So anyway, we got too many on the ice as we were trying to put a little pressure on in a man-up situation here.
Wait, the penalty's not over yet?
All right. So we're going to come back up to neutral, or up to the center dot. Trojans still have 1:53 left in the power play.
Huh? Looks like the ref is talking to me. Maybe the Raiders get it, I think. Maybe, I don't know. Make it play too.
All right.
I didn't do.
Puck hung up on the skates. Trojans battling out front, and Roseville dumps that deep. Buell plays it to Jeffers. Jeffers can turn around, try this other side. Has Brown. Brown with room. Looking for Prentice, and that scoots out, but played in. I think that bounced off a Roseville bench player. So 6:20 left. And the first 30 seconds has kind of been a struggle to get zone time, much less any real offensive pressure here for the Trojans. So we'll see if we can get one here. The initial face-off won by Roseville. Poke checked away by Brown, and now forecheck pressure trying to hold the zone. But they do get a breakout, man down, and pop one to Jeffers, who looks for Brown. Ends up out of zone, but the Raiders control. Brown up the edge, poked back in by the Raiders, and does not feel like a power play situation. Meade does find Brown. Brown up the edge, and Brown has a little room, and he flips one on net. And at least we'll get a offensive zone draw to see if there's anything we can do with it. .46 seconds remain in a pretty critical power play for the Trojans.
46 seconds left.
Kurth plays that off the Canaan win. Homstall on it. Puck pops up in the air. Back to Homstall. Back to Kurth. And back to Homstall. Working the puck out front. Deflected out to Canaan and skated away by Roseville. 27 seconds left. And a good chance here to kill the remainder of this penalty. And that ends up off the side of the net as Kurth looks for Homstall to Canaan, and Canaan can't quite play that as it bounces back into zone for the Raiders, and just 10 seconds left. And no real scoring chances come out of that. We will have, that did just come off the board, so 1 second got us there, and so we will face off in the offensive zone here, even strength. So nothing came out of that power play. I felt like that was kind of an important one. What do you think, Alice?
Yeah.
Bummer. Raiders control that draw through neutral ice. Hasselfeld plays it, but the second Raider comes in, gains control of it. Hasselfeld back on it again. And the boys just not getting the loose pucks right now. Ooh, hard deflection there. Ends up and over and into the Raider bench. Deep draw here for the Raiders. Even strength with 4:17 left and a 4-goal Raider lead as the Trojans continue to struggle here in the second. Puck high up and over the top. Jeffers working to skate one free. That ends up outside. Pressure by LaRose. Zone held. Turned over to the Raiders. Raiders control at the blue line, and a deflected puck out of a screen ends up high and over Oliver Buell's head. Mr. Buell, I should say. Another chance out front. That gets flipped in, and that gets off the back of a Raider shoulder pad. That had probably the net on it, if not sure if he saw that coming either. There's a bouncing puck back over the top as the fury of shots continue. Buell off the leg pad. 3 minutes left.
When you get out of the zone, spin shot after shot after shot.
Wilson plays it out. Clavin dumps it in. Doesn't quite get all the way in, but held at the blue line temporarily by Meade, and back in Raider territory here as the toe drag works. Centering pass out front. Had a wide open skater. Just got off on the wrong side and exited there by Prentice. Prentice will have a chance to play it again. Just 2:31 left here in the second.
Failed slap shot, I should say. I don't know how to explain it.
2 minutes left. Wilson, Jeffers, back to Wilson to Brown. Hops Brown's stick, but Meade now chases out front. Raiders regroup and re-enter zone. Have a pass in the high slot, and Buell plays that one up and in. 1:51 left here.
Minute 51 left.
Raiders control. Brown tries to scoot it through to Kanan, and the Raiders turn that around right at center ice and scoot in. Turn fan on that one, but have it on the slot, wide open. Doesn't pull the trigger, makes a little inside pass, and now Kanan with a little room skates up the edge. Not sure that ever got into zone, but they called offsides anyways, as Kanan couldn't quite hold on to it. Did that puck ever get to zone? I don't know that was... like he skated in without it. I don't know.
I think he skated it, going in.
Here nor there.
I don't
Homstall in with Brown and Kanan. The Raiders control and carry it through neutral ice, and offsides again there. .122 left in the second. Brown pokes one forward, looking for Homstall. Deflected back in by the Raider defender. Now Raiders re-enter zone. Kanan has room. Chips one forward. Has a little room to try to skate this one out, and does. Across the blue line. Dangles one through. Tries to play it off. Kanan comes, fires, and a save on the inside post there, right side of the goal from the Tender's perspective at 57 seconds left. Maybe representing one of the best scoring chances we had, and covered up nicely by the Raider goalie.
Two in the first.
What's that?
Best scoring chances was probably those two in the first. That was really good too.
Prentice back, 2-on-1, almost 3-on-1 situation for the Raiders. That gets played up, and now Kanan has room again. Does get played off nicely, bodied out of that by the defender, and the Raiders turn that around. 35 seconds left. That gets played up, and Buell with a save. 31 and a half seconds left, and we'll draw one deep. What feels like another opportunity for the Raiders here. Fresh skaters, however, coming in for the Trojans, as Kurth stays in, but Meade
30 seconds
and
left.
LaRose in with Wilson and Jeffers, I think. Wilson controls off the Meade face-off. Has Kurth. Kurth tries to chip one across to LaRose, but nothing there. Jeffers tries to get it across the red line and skate it through, and he gets cut off. 13 seconds left here. Kurth flips one up, turned over deep as Roseville takes over. 4 and 3 seconds, and that will end the second in a rough one for the Trojans. We'll take a little bit of an extended break because I believe they will resurface, if I have my story straight.
Yep, it looks like it.
I think so, right? Yeah. So they'll resurface. We'll have 10 plus minutes left here as we'll be back shortly. All right, that's good. Go, Bulldog.
there, and they're in locker rooms now.
All right, welcome back. The Trojans have to find some offense real fast. We're going to give it a shot with a rest between, so we got Brown and Homstall flanking Kanan on the face-off dot with Clavin going to get a run on D here with Prentice. So the mixed up with the injuries and the illnesses, we've got a real mixed up group of lines, and it looks like Clavin going to get a run on D. Prentice battles back behind as the Raiders control. Wide open up front. Puck deflected by Buell. Played out. Brown has it. Flips it forward. Dangled through as Kanan can't quite wool that one through, and the Raiders hold. Finally into neutral ice. Regroup here by the Raiders. Pressured by Homstall, but the Raiders regain and come across as nicely played by Homstall. Played up the edge to the Raiders, and the Trojans getting some fresh skaters in. Slapper goes wide, played by Wilson. Kurth finds LaRose. LaRose backhands one in. The first puck deep here for the Trojans and see if they can do something with it. Meade holds that up. Wilson plays it, flipped up nicely Roseville to themselves, and now they pop it out and dump it deep. Jeffers to Kurth. Chips it forward to Meade. Roseville holds onto it. Now back to Meade again from Jeffers, and Meade has room through neutral ice, carries it into zone. Comes back in. Slash on Roseville. Trojans get an early.
We kind of pushed that, guys. I thought we got the penalty.
Max just skate in?
We got the penalty because
Max just skate in? What's that? Oh, okay. All right. Hasselfeld was in and out, so maybe that was why we had Clavin running a shift of defense.
he didn't say that. I would win.
Played up. Kanan. Wilson finds a little room. He's going to skate that in himself. Finds Kanan on the far side. Roseville holds. Turned over by Wilson. Wilson trying to find a little bit of room for a stick, but nicely closed on by the Raiders, who then skate it out, and with pace, skates right by Brown and flips one into the upper right corner. Maybe just a little bit. There you go. That was a short-handed goal for the Raiders as they scooted out and go up 5-0 in the dominant shooting,
Charlie's
and
back in net.
just nothing clicking. Buell scoops one up off the left side there. 1 minute and 6 seconds remain, and a penalty as Roseville comes up with a short-handed goal to extend a 5-goal lead. Finds Meade up front, deflected off. Kurth tries to chip one in and does. Centering pass out front, hops the stick of LaRose in position for that deflection or rebound, but the Raiders skate free with it. Hasselfeld plays it out. Just either a little in front of Meade or a little behind LaRose. And they work another one up the edge. That gets by Clavin and icing, and it'll come all the way back here with 11:25 left and 9 seconds remaining in a power play that I honestly forgot was a power play. It hasn't really looked like it. Jeffers chips one around, looking for Homstall. To Kanan. And Kanan with room. And Roseville seemingly knocking everything down. Even strength here for everybody as Clavin breaks on it and turned back by the Raiders. Kanan now with space. Skates his way through. The double team shuts him down. There's a little bit of a scoring chance there, and Wilson holds the edge. But the Raiders with a nice cross-ice pass have it, and a breakaway opportunity here as a back check by Wilson shuts that down, and along with Jeffers closes things out. Buell plays on, Ellickson back in, plays one out behind.
Is that a penalty on this? I think that's a penalty on us.
Trojans going in the box. I wasn't sure what we had there, but it was a cross check. Maybe was why there was a Raider in the net. I didn't really see that, but Trojans now in the penalty kill for 2 minutes with 10:37 left. Well, 5-0 with 2 minutes of a penalty to kill would be among the epic comebacks, Alice.
Uh-huh.
You don't sound convinced. You think that's going to happen?
I saw how much that's going to be.
Yeah, I don't think so either. The defense never extended, kind of allowed to skate right in and rip one into the back of the net. 6-0 now with just 10 minutes left, and the onslaught is on. Boys look dejected. Brown will take a shift at center here with this face-off. Down 6 with just 10 minutes to go. Kurth wins that, chips that back off the glove as the forecheck pressure comes, and they break out with it, and that'll be iced back. So 10:04 left with...
Wait, how do you do it?
What do you need? Yeah, I think this kind of keeps getting... There you go. Right, Brown back here to take this face-off at center with LaRose and Kurth. Brown wins. Back to Prentice. Deflected by LaRose. And that just didn't find anything. It did go back, but good deflection, good shot on by Prentice. Raiders with room to escape. Shut down by Prentice. Prentice carries that across and deflected wide as LaRose is in. A little bit of pressure and a little life out of this line with the Trojans. Now maybe you just don't want to get shut out. Maybe that's our goal, is find one score here late and go out. Hasselfeld finds Homstall, played right back out by the Raiders nicely, and now they've got numbers coming back, catching the Trojans in a change as Ellickson covers that one. 8:33. Oh, and we are 6 goals down, so running time this last 8.5 minutes. Maybe graciously will go quickly. I think that sort of almost eliminates the massive comeback here, because 8 minutes of running time is
If it goes to 10:30,
a big difference.
Well, they got a little bit, so.
Kanan from Clavin to Homstall, and a deflection by the defender plays that up. Jeffers holds up top, and he dumps that back down, and Homstall in the near corner. The Raiders hold. Kanan looking to get his way out, and we got an injured Raider.
Looks like it's his back. Yeah, I'm holding it.
I don't know what that signal is. What does that mean?
It's either 2 and 10 or a 5.
Oh. So we got a major penalty, maybe roughing here, or a 2 and 10.
Well, that's not helpful.
So
Looks like it's a gun plays in again. Has Cleveland gotten a penalty yet? Oh yeah, he did. It's 2 minutes, but it is alright.
Oh, yep. So that'll serve 2 and 10 with 1:47 left and the clock running. So I think Sam's day is done. I didn't see it. I have no idea what that was. Is Ellickson on it? Gives up another rebound and a puck that was right in the breadbasket, and then a rebound with an unchecked forward pops in the back of the net, and another goal for the Raiders. The clock continues to run with just 6 minutes left. Raiders win. Kanan fights his way out. Skates it into zone. Kurth, give and go back to Kanan. Nice little pass. Just couldn't quite get anything on it as Wilson holds and tries to center to Kurth, wrestling with his defender on the crease. Now LaRose is up there. Kurth turns and fires, and nobody home up front. And the Raiders skate out with it. 5:35 of running time left as Wilson draws a little contact. Jeffers scoots one up to Kurth. Kurth gets hit, and the Raiders dump and change as Wilson skates back. Jeffers plays it near side, has LaRose. Well, this, for all intents and purposes, minus a 8-goal last-second comeback with 4 minutes of running time. I think this is it for the broadcast. I'll thank my primary co-host and camera gal, Alice. Thanks for joining me this year. She's got some hockey left.
It'll be next year.
So maybe we'll get back to it next year. But for this year, we're done. And Alice has some playoff hockey coming up here over the next week, so good luck to you. Thanks also to...
Depending on the Raiders.
Penalty coming, I think, against Roseville. So that'll give the Trojans a chance to
Looks like he was
poke
holding
a
on
goal
to
in here.
Wait, yeah.
I'll thank Greg Buell. Greg was a contributor and a great co-host when Alice wasn't around, and even Briggs Buell joined us a couple of times. I had a guest of Jeff from Africa last week. Tegan Mackey joined us for a game, so thank you there. And then thanks to all of those of you that dial in and listen. One last shorthanded breakaway here, and beautiful save by Ellickson out front, chipped around.
Okay.
A special shout out and thanks to Grandma and Grandpa Clavin, the generosity, and it's good to meet them. And I know they log in and listen a lot, as long as my mom as well, Amber Brown, and anybody else. Thanks for joining. Roseville now carries it back in. We'll get back to some action. Hope we can do something with, got a minute of running time penalty left. as Ellickson slides across, makes a nice save there. Roseville willing to pin this thing in.
Who was that?
That puck got flipped into the rafters, so we're in a regroup here. I think Kurth trying to break out and skip one across to his teammate, and it gets a little high off his stick. 30 seconds left in the power play and about 2:30 left here in the third period.
I think we'll just let the boys enjoy the last minutes of hockey this year. Love their, like...
I think Roseville will move on to likely play. The other game I think we had was the Maple Grove Black team that we saw a few games from this year. Actually beat twice, I believe, is winning their second round game. So they will move on to what I think is the championship game as Kanan now skates free. Oh, finds 5-hole, played off. Beautiful save on the breakaway there for Kanan.
Oh, they got it done. You had to push. And you, like, wish his head, like, helmet down. Like,
Another penalty here on the Raiders. By the time they get this sorted out, we'll be down to about a minute. Kane and Kurth and Homstall in with Jeffers and Wilson. Jeffers rips one. Puck given up, rebound as Kurth had a chance at it. That gets played back in, and the Raiders try to hold it as Wilson holds the zone. Hand pass as that got pushed a little too far forward.
Plus, we get a goal in besides, like, every 10 seconds with no whistle. More than 10 seconds. Just like to get maybe
Raiders control, 50 seconds of running time left here. Starting to feel, barring a last-second breakout here, which the Trojans have, finds Homstall. Held up by the Roseville Raider, turned around by Kanan on the blue line with 30 seconds left. Cut off and shut down by the Raiders. A little back and forth here with just 20 seconds left. (18) Kurth up front, looks for Prentice on the edge, deflected off a stick. 10 and 9, and I think that is it for your Wayzata Bantam B1 Gold team. 20 or 30 some wins on the year. Got into a rough situation with some injuries and illness and didn't come into this tournament as we'd hoped. Good luck to the Roseville Raiders, and that's it. Signing off for the last time.